gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for May 17th, 2023. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, wait, they're really doing a PlayStation showcase? I was just making that up. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host to Game Mess Mornings. It's Lucy James, everybody. Lucy, how are you doing?
Hello. I am doing well. In spite of factors, my cat's got the shits. There's a lot of construction going on outside. So again, apologies if you hear it. Jeff has put like a kind of noise suppressor on me.
How are the earbuds? How are
good.
the AirPods helping? Is it blocking out most of it? Is it easier to concentrate? Because that's got to be distracting.
Yeah, it's blocking out most. The problem is it's not a consistent sound. So there's a man with a leaf blower.
Sure.
Yesterday there was a guy with a whistle directing traffic.
Oh, very good.
So I think the AirPods are just gonna like, we should just see what we can do, you know, just
Yeah.
check. But honestly, I mean, they have spent the last year and a half digging up my road, and so I'm just glad that I mean, I don't even drive, but it's getting to the point where Uber drivers are complaining to me about how bumpy my road is. So I just want it to be.
Yeah, it's better. It's better
Yeah.
that it's getting the love and care that it needs, rather than nothing
Exactly.
at all. It's
Nothing at
definitely
all.
a day of us seeing what we can do, because I am on the new computer and I ported over OBS and everything, and it just seems to be working. So I'm pretty happy
It
about
just
that.
works.
It was pretty wild. That normally that's like, no, of course that's not going to just work. But I put everything in. I made a portable instance of my OBS and put it in the cloud and downloaded that and used a scene manager plugin. And
Oh my God.
everything. I barely had to like even find some of my files because a lot of that stuff's already stored and ready to go. So I'm feeling pretty
wild.
good. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
The one thing is like Twitch doesn't support AV1, which is one of the big new features as part of these new graphics cards. And I did another show on YouTube using that. And this is like nerd stuff, but it got me excited. I barely used any bit rate at all, and the show still looked like crystal clear and crisp and stuff. It was pretty good stuff.
Wait, what's AV1?
So
For those at home who don't know.
Yeah. YouTube and a lot of other video platforms on the web used H.264 for a really long time, which is an encoder.
It's a coda.
It's a codec. And so that was good for a long time, but AV1 is way better, way more efficient, so you can get higher quality video at a lower bit rate. And so you can do the big thing with it, we're going to be able to stream 4K with it, if we ever actually want to do that. But we can finally actually make that happen. All right, you know what?
I set up my PC yesterday too, and as you saw in Slack, I'm having a real crisis of where to put it.
Yeah, they're big boys, huh? They're
big boys. But I was playing a game last night on Ultra, and it had and I was just going there because I have a 3090 in my other machine, and even that can't do Ultra on some stuff. But last night I was playing a game, and I went on Ultra, and it was like, oh God, I'm seeing through time and space.
Yep. What was the first game you played on the 4090?
Something embargoed.
Okay, fair enough. I played Glover for the PC version of Glover. Yeah, I was trying to think of the dumbest game, and I didn't want to do Vampire Survivors because that's too obvious. So I went with Glover.
Mine is always usually Peggle.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I messed up.
You know what's a good game? Peggle. Peggle's a really good game.
Oh, it's one of the greatest games of all time.
I don't think I put it on my top 100. Now I'm regretting it. I should go back and fix that.
I didn't either, and I should. At GQ, fix this.
All right, let's get into this mess. But before we do, let's explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings, or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with PlayStation Showcase, broadcast live next week. This comes from the PlayStation blog. PlayStation
I changed
Showcase.
my mug just for you.
Yeah, there it is. Let's go. The PlayStation Showcase is going to broadcast live on Wednesday, May 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. British time. Do you think that's Jim Ryan saying, yeah, you have to put British time into the blog post about this, and those are the only two time zones, Pacific time and British time? Or do you think that's just
Is
it's weird?
weird.
Yeah.
But I
Because
mean,
usually you get like Central or European time is when you'll see a lot.
yeah.
I'd never see British time in a blog post, but I think Jim Ryan's super proud of British time.
Well, he's one of the prides of the Northeast, Jim Ryan. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure he's from
absolutely.
he's from near me. He is a Geordie.
He is, okay. Yeah, so like he's from like your neighborhood or the next neighborhood over or something like
Not
that?
my neighborhood. I think he might be from let's have a look. Jim Ryan. Where's he from?
The show will run for a bit over an hour. Okay, you got it already. All right, where's he from?
Oh yeah. English businessman. Oh no, I've just got a link on the PlayStation blog. Carry on.
Okay, fair enough. The show will run for a bit over an hour, focusing on PS5 and PlayStation Virtual Reality 2 games in development from top studios from around the world. Expect a glimpse at several new creations from PlayStation Studios, as well as spellbinding games from our third-party partners and indie creators. The live broadcast starts on May 24th. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be on YouTube and Twitch. What are you expecting, Lucy? I think I'm expecting big things from this because they're overdue, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. So, I mean, do we think it's too soon for a Naughty Dog? I don't know. Actually, last summer at Summer Game Fest, Naughty Dog showed off Last of Us Part 1. Last of Us Part 1. I guess that's what they renamed it. And they mentioned the multiplayer stuff. So maybe? But I mean...
It's possible. Well, Factions almost certainly does show up here, right? Yes. I think Factions is a big one. I think... it seems like, we'll talk about this. Mortal Kombat could probably pop up here. That seems likely. But I mean, in terms of first party PlayStation stuff, there are a lot of studios we're kind of waiting to see. I think obviously, this goes without saying, Spider-Man 2, maybe even Wolverine a little bit.
You know what? I honestly wonder if they would do Wolverine, if they are going to be gearing up for the Spider-Man 2 stuff.
You're right.
Maybe like an absolute tease of Wolverine, but I think all of Insomniac stuff is going to be Spider-Man 2 based at this point, especially because we know, because of the voice actor tweeting it out, the Spider-Man stuff is really, really going to kick off August to come out. I think September was that tweet.
And that still seems to be the case. That sounds right. But yeah, I mean, I think about other Sucker Punch. Do we get Tsushima 2?
Oh, I think it's too
early.
Even though that game came out in 2020, I think it's too early.
Yeah, I mean, is it like 2 years away and like this is the first time they announce it now? I mean, that seems in the realm of possibility, but I mean, I don't know. I've always gotten the sense from this showcase, as I've heard about it, that this was going to be them kicking off the next phase of the PlayStation 5, where, Spider-Man 2 will kind of close the door on the things that they had announced a while ago. And, Wolverine's still coming, obviously, but Wolverine's like the follow-up after Spider-Man 2. And now they have a whole bunch of stuff that they've reloaded that it's ready to talk about. So this could be the next several years of PlayStation getting announced right now. And I think in that case, maybe Ghost of Tsushima 2 is possible. But I mean,
even just a tease, but
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of like other Sony first parties. I don't know. I mean, Dreams is wound down. Insomniac. Yeah, we got covered. I mean, something from Japan Studio. No, Japan Studios gone, isn't it?
Studios is no longer a going concern. So I mean, obviously there is that roster of newer studios that Sony's either acquired or working closely with, like Jade Raymond's game, stuff like that.
Bungie's got a bunch of irons in the fire with new projects and stuff. So maybe
I'm very curious to see how Bungie gets sort of slotted into anything that is PlayStation Studios, because again, Bungie's like, we're not a PlayStation studio. We make games for everybody, and we're going to continue doing that. We're a Sony company, and I wonder if showing up at a PlayStation showcase is like, we do release games on PlayStation with Sony's our parent company, and a showcase is a good way to get a lot of eyeballs on something. So I wonder if they would still just kind of show up, or if they're afraid of building too strong of that relationship between the two brands.
Well, Andy Robinson, sweet boy Andy Robinson from VGC tweeted, "I hope PlayStation fans are geared up for this." And then someone, Aaron Cooper, replied, as in very high. And Andy said, bolted like metal. To which Aaron replied, solid, mate. Solid.
Yeah, so in
So,
terms of the third-party
Gears
stuff,
of War is coming to PlayStation.
absolutely, I cannot wait. Finally, he's going to be on a real console. Our boy,
No more
Coltrane.
squeeze throughs for
Yeah.
fucking. Yeah, no. So I mean, yeah, if this is gonna be the Metal Gear Solid one,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
the
it's been rumored
to be
here.
make?
Yeah, but
No.
Metal Gear Solid 3 remake's been rumored to be here for a while. That sounds very, very likely. So,
Yeah.
and in terms of third-party stuff, it's going to be stuff like that, Mortal Kombat.
It's gonna be
probably
Mortal
some other stuff.
Kombat, Final Fantasy. I mean, obviously 16. 16 is having a big showcase right before the game comes out anyway, but it would be interesting to see 7 Part 2 as well. Because that was at this showcase in 2020, wasn't it?
Man, that guy, was that right? Yeah,
I think that's when
right.
I think that's when they announced it at the Showcase of Dreams 2015.
That's right.
Because that was also Shenmue 3 and Last Guardian. But I remember them showing it, and I think it was the PlayStation Summer Showcase in 2020. And then obviously it came out a couple months later.
That sounds right. And this showcase is going to be happening before Final Fantasy 16 is out.
Oh, it came out April 2020. I'm wrong. Ignore me.
Okay. But it's like, their Final Fantasy 16 is going to be probably one of their big focuses. But do you think they give a substantial update on 7 too before 16 is out?
I mean, I would imagine at least a trailer. Like,
because
I mean, honestly,
now,
if this is
when is it going to be like a whole nother year before we hear about that game? I guess that's possible, but no, because the game that's due out. They said winter, right, or whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think Square has learned, hopefully, because I mean they're typically really bad at not bad, but like they announce stuff really early, and then you wait like 5 years for something. Like as was the case with Part 1. So I think maybe they're just kind of learning to contract that marketing time period a little bit.
Okay, just a couple other studios I'm going to throw out there from the first party. You mentioned that Media Molecule is winding down Dreams. Who knows? They probably won't have anything new ready to go. Maybe they do, and that's why they are winding down Dreams. But
man.
Housemarque. Do you think Housemarque's going to have something new coming off of Returnal a couple years ago?
Oh, I hope so. They are gearing up. They are doing a big hiring push.
Yes, they are.
That was in the news last week.
Right.
So that would be really cool. I'm terrible at Housemarque games, but I love that they exist as a studio.
Yeah.
And I appreciate their games. I'm just not good at them. So
I think that the studios some studios were winding up over PlayStation while others were experiencing cuts. And it's like Housemarque clearly got some of the love in that situation where Sony was looking around for like where are we actually going to focus, and Housemarque seems to be a favorite. Guerrilla Games, they just released a bunch of stuff. They worked on the VR game. They had Forbidden West last year. They had the DLC this year. They probably don't have anything ready to go for a showcase like this, right?
Well, what about one of the 10 Horizon projects that's in the works?
Right.
We saw footage of the leaked footage of the multiplayer guy.
That's exactly kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, do they immediately just hop in, and is every PlayStation showcase for the next couple years going to have new Horizon stuff? That seems possible. But at the same time, it still seems pretty early for them to be jumping and ready to go with assets for something like this.
Chat's talking about Astrobot, and I would love another Astrobot. Astrobot on the PS5, like box in, incredible. It was what a great game.
Yep,
so fun.
We have not heard anything from Team Asobi one way or the other since the PlayStation 5 launched. The expectations were we would hear about the new Astro's rescue mission follow up for PlayStation VR 2. That never manifested. So is that team still working on something for VR that could get announced at this thing? They said they're going to talk about PSVR 2 at this showcase, or are they working on something else? My hope is, my real hope is like sky high hope is both, and it's one game that can have VR stuff and then also plays great on a TV. But if I had to choose one or the other, I want them to make a classic game for the TV, just like Astro's the launch game for PS5. I do think we get something from Team Asobi at this. I really hope so.
I hope so. They're great. I love their games. in terms of like other third-party stuff, they're calling it spellbinding.
Yeah, what do you think?
Wonder Book 2, baby. God, I was there. I was there when they demoed Wonder Book at that E3, and it
really
didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work.
Oh man,
What a time
that's
that
always
was.
fun.
Yeah, I love
E3
those.
demos that don't work are always wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Other third-party stuff, I don't know. It's at this point, it's like kind of
Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne PC.
Yeah, do you think Bloodborne shows up here? Do you think
No, absolutely not. PlayStation. I don't know if it's PlayStation who doesn't care about it or if it's From who doesn't care about it. I just got this new PC, man. Come on, give me something to play on it.
I mean, like I've always heard, is like From is very much wanting to be involved in it. I previously thought that's because like they were worried about the code being messy, but that's not the case. But they definitely want to be there holding the doors when someone goes in to work on it. So, and then they've been very busy, so they always seem pretty complicated.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Hang on, what else? PlayStation.
Bin Studio. Do you think Bin Studio has a new game?
I thought you said Bin Studio.
Bend,
like,
Bend, Oregon Studio.
Bin, maybe. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Since. Yeah, they could get away with something.
Right. They their last one was just the
Days Gone.
Game. Yeah, Days Gone.
Yeah. I mean, Gran Turismo movie.
Yeah, do you think they have the transmedia stuff? This is a more than hour-long thing. Do you think they show off some movie stuff and TV shows?
An hour long?
It's more than an hour long, they said. The show will run for a bit over an hour.
100% there's going to be transmedia stuff because they've already announced there's the God of War TV show that they announced that's coming through Amazon. There's the Ghost of Tsushima movie. There's, I don't know, like, the Twisted Metal Peacock series. I finally saw the trailer for that on Monday, and I was like, you know what?
A teaser?
That might be, yeah. I never watched it before.
I was like, yeah, sure. This looks like what you'd have to do for a Twisted Metal TV show. I still don't think it's going to be, I'm probably not going to make the time to watch it, but yeah, sure. This makes sense.
It's Peacock, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
I have it thrown in with my internet provider, so I'll watch it.
I have it for wrestling, so it'll be a possibility for me. Wrestling and Columbo, the two things in life that are best.
Why is everyone talking about Columbo recently?
He's been having a moment. I've been talking about Columbo for the last several years. But everyone's kind of getting on board. It turns out Columbo's were just really good. I think a big part of it was probably Benoit Blanc kind of got people interested in older detective stories again. And the right one, especially if you want something similar in structure to a Benoit Blanc story, is Columbo.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen Mike is like, because it rules. I haven't seen Columbo since, the 90s. So maybe now that I've got Peacock, I'll
check it out. The first episode was directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's pretty good.
What?
Well, not the first.
Loving this Columbo lore.
One of the first, like when it became a series, something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and move along here. PlayStation Showcase will happen next week. We'll talk over it. We'll find some way to do it. It'll be fun. Hey, kitty cat.
She's got a bad tummy.
Oh no, bad tummy cat. Don't spray any more poo on the wall. April 2023 Circana report, or was what was once known as the MPD report. This comes from Matt Piscatella.
I'm not calling them Circana.
I know it's rough. I want to respect Matt's wishes, but I don't know why he had to rename the whole company that he works for.
I know, Matt, you're great, but no, it's the MPD group.
I'm probably just gonna keep saying MPD. The April 2023 U.S. video game market highlights: consumer spending on video game content, hardware, and accessories reached $4.1 billion, a 5% drop when compared to a year ago. A 6% decline in April spending on video game content offset 7% growth in hardware. Year-to-date consumer spending on video game content, hardware, and accessories fell 2% when compared to the same period through 2022 to $17.7 billion. Here are the best-selling games of the month. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was number 1. Dead Island 2 was number 2. Then followed by MLB The Show 23, Resident Evil 4, number 5, Modern Warfare 2, number 6, Hogwarts Legacy. Then we have 2 more new games on the list: PGA Tour at number 7 and Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection at 8. Other new games on the list include Minecraft Legends at number 11, Final Fantasy, the 1 through 6 bundle finally on consoles, was number 14. Advanced Wars 1 plus 2 Reboot Camp was 15. That doesn't include digital sales. Matt Piscatella pointed out later that it was number 3 on Switch behind Mega Man Battle Network and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then, those are the last for the new games. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Dead Island 2. I'm not too surprised that Star Wars Jedi Survivor is number 1. Dead Island 2 getting up there with a strong, number 2 placement on there. That's pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, that whole game, the fact that it was in development for so long, came out, was good, but not great, but it was still good. Like, that is incredible. And yeah, to see it up there, that's really good. That's like it's a rare one. Because usually when games have been in development that long, you get like a Duke Nukem Forever situation.
Yep.
So that's awesome. And like, I had a really fun time with it. My motion sickness aside, I had a really great time with Dead Island 2. So that is really great. Good for them.
Yes. Let's see. Matt had some comments about these games. Jedi Survivor was the best-selling game of April 2023, instantly becoming the 4th best-selling game of 2023 year to date. The title featured 2 days of sales in the April tracking month. So that's all coming from just those 2 days. Dead Island 2 debuted
2 days?
What's that?
Wait, so Jedi Survivor was in 2 days?
Yeah, just 2 days.
Those numbers?
Yep.
Damn.
So
all
pretty
right.
good stuff. The bulk of the sales do come on like that first day, but still, when a game like that can also have legs, so that's impressive.
Oh yeah.
Dead Island 2 was the second best selling of April. It's ranking 6th in year-to-date dollar sales already. That's actually pretty good as well. And then 7 of the top 15 best-selling games of April 2023 were new releases, as we went over. Video game hardware spending, meanwhile, grew 7% when compared to last year, to $367 million. This is the highest video game hardware spend for an April month since the $420 million reached in April 2020. A double-digit percent, and that was like right in the heart of the pandemic. Double-digit percentage growth in both PS5 and Switch dollar sales offset declines on other platforms. Year-to-date, hardware spending is now 18% higher when compared to the same period in 2022 at $1.8 billion. PlayStation 5 was the best-selling hardware platform in dollar sales during April, while Switch led the market in unit sales. PlayStation 5 leads 2023 hardware market year-to-date in both units and dollar sales. Another thing Matt mentioned is that OLED Zelda model of the Switch came out at the end of the month, and that pushed the Switch up over in terms of unit sales. Overall healthy market, a lot of new games coming out all at once, and all of them getting into the top 20. That's a good sign. We have some months, Lucy, where like it's just one new game maybe makes it in there, and it's not even really in the top 5. It's nice to see several games be able to hit. And like Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection in the top 10 doing really well. I think just everything's sort of hitting right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, how do I say this without sounding really wanky? It's just a really cool, exciting time for games right now. Yep. I think the past few years have just been so turbulent, release dates being shoved all over the place. And now I don't know, like looking at the lineup for this year, especially this May, June, August stuff, like, because of Baldur's Gate, I'm so stoked for Baldur's Gate. It's just super exciting. Like, you've got good stuff coming out consistently. Things are selling. There's, we're really, no, still too wanky. Yeah, all right. I know, it's fine. I get it. I'm just, it's really exciting to be in gaming right now. I don't know, man. I don't know what you want to say. It feels like this generation had such a weird start because of the pandemic and everything moving around, and now stuff is finding its feet, whether it was supposed to come out or whether everything just got delayed into this year or whatever. It's just really nice to be like, oh, I'm going from one hit to the next hit, but it does mean that I have way less time for stuff that is not doing great, like that I'm not enjoying. But there's a lot. I like looking forward to shit.
Yes, it's definitely there's definitely like a double-edged blade there a little bit, but it's it's been a long time since we've had the thing where we go from hit to hit sort of collectively too, where everyone's sort of playing the same thing, and then the next time around, or next week, everyone's playing the next game, and it's fun to be in that zone, like you said. It's just it feels like everything's coming together and gelling really well. And a time when the new consoles are kind of hitting their stride, and a Switch follow-up is imminent within the next year and a half or so. All right, let's see here. Your last thing, accessory spending during April was flat when compared to a year ago to $158 million. The PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge wireless controller Black was the best-selling accessory in dollar sales for both April and 2023 year to date. Accessory spending being flat is always usually a good sign of like, okay, things aren't getting too out of whack. People are still spending or investing in gaming about the same rate they were last year. It had been falling for quite some time in more recent months. All right, moving on to the next story. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has sold over 10 million copies in its first 3 days. This comes from Nintendo Everything. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sold over 10 million copies worldwide in its first 3 days, Nintendo has announced. It's the fastest selling game in the history of the Legend of Zelda series. Also revealed today is that over 4 million copies were sold alone in the Americas. It's the fastest selling Switch game and the fastest selling Nintendo game for any system in that territory. The same goes for Europe as well. Another 2.24 million copies were sold in Japan. We also know that around 500,000 physical copies were sold in France. That's something we talked about on the Bombcast yesterday. While Nintendo hasn't reported data for the UK, the Nintendo Everything reported that Tears of the Kingdom is the biggest boxed release of the year and already the 8th biggest Zelda game ever in the region. Nintendo of America's Devin Pritchard said today, many players are returning to Hyrule with all its new mysteries and possibilities, and with the record-breaking launch of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch, we can't wait to see what they'll create in the game and the stories they'll share next. I think fastest selling Zelda ever, of course this game was going to be that. Getting to 10 million in 3 days is really impressive. Nuts. Yeah.
Nuts. That's wild.
But
it feels like it's...
Yeah, go ahead, please.
It feels like it has permeated the culture. Again, wanky, sorry, but like we were talking about this on the Bombcast yesterday. I don't remember my social feeds being as taken over by Breath of the Wild. Not immediately. Like it took a while because everyone obviously had to kind of get on board with the fact that Zelda had gone so open world and it was so different. And then, yeah, with Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know what it is, but everyone is talking about it. Everything. Like social feeds, TikTok, Reddit, Twitter, like it's permeated.
Jimmy Fallon.
No, has he?
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen that?
Jimmy Fallon's put all his writers on unpaid leave, by the way, so fuck Jimmy Fallon.
Exactly. That's what the people are destroying him. He's like, I'm there day one, and he's holding up his Switch, and everyone's like, this man doesn't pay his writers and stuff. It's
yeah. Fuck Jimmy Fallon. I don't think I like either of the Jimmys. I'm Conan loyal, so
sure.
Conan
I really
paid his writers.
No, I can't. The Scottish guy that was that did.
Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson, that was my boy. Yeah. I loved Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Tim, like I look for points of comparison. This is always unfair because Zelda and Switch are sort of on another level through this generation. But it took The Last of Us Part 2 2 years to get to 10 million copies sold. It's that's after several discounts. And this game's not going to go on discount anytime soon. I
don't think Nintendo knows what the word discount means.
Yeah, not anymore. They threw that word out. They like crossed that out in all their dictionaries. This is kind of a similar trajectory to what Hogwarts Legacy was doing earlier this year, but this game's only on one platform. It's just this is a huge game, and it's probably going to end up hitting 20 million before the end of this year, maybe even sooner than that. Honestly, it is just selling like crazy.
Yeah, I did see a good tweet from Del Walker, who works at Naughty Dog. He says, Zelda, Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, all hitting gargantuan sales numbers with no multiplayer or live service is absolutely going to affect the games we see in the next coming 3 to 4 years. I fucking hope so.
Yeah, I think a lot of lessons were taken from Breath of the Wild. We see it all over the place. I don't know if all of the lessons were taken from it. I think having 2 successive massive hits like this is really going to shake up some stuff at other publishers, I think.
Breaking news. Tam has told me to derail you. Can you go to the Dead by Daylight Twitter account?
I can. Give me a second. Let's see here. Twitter.com just said Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight.
All right, let me I'm going to bring this up for everybody just a second. Let's see here. Okay. I'm not signed in.
You'll see it.
All right, let's go. No, not now. Go away.
Here. Oh, I can't. I don't have edit permission on the doc.
Is this first one from 33 minutes ago?
It's the pinned. It's the pinned.
Okay, Dead by Daylight, Nicolas Cage. Hang on, let's turn that down.
Coming to a realm near you, July 5th.
Let me see if I can bring this in here. Dead by Daylight, Nicolas Cage. Learn more on July 5th. I need to learn more now. Sorry, hang on. I want audio listeners to be able to hear what.
Can shape the fabric of reality.
He's going to shape the fabric of reality. All right, Nick. All right, Nicky.
Is he gonna change the
the hierarchy of power is never going to be the same.
Hierarchy of power in Dead by Daylight, dude?
Incredible
I'm here
stuff.
for it. I'm here for it.
There we go. Let me bring it back up there. There it is. Okay. Yeah. Why not? At a certain point, Dead by Daylight has a lot of cameos from famous horror movie villains, and now also Nick Cage. It's do you think he's going to be? Because this is one of those asymmetrical multiplayer games, right? That's like the one. Yeah. Is he going to be a serial killer? Am I going to be able to get killed by Nick Cage?
Yeah. Can I play Nick Cage? The role of a lifetime?
Yeah, the role of a lifetime.
Did you see Renfield, by the way?
I've not. I can't. I really want to.
It's great. It's streaming now. It's so fun and also so gory. I could not believe how gory it was, but I'm here for this Nick Cage stuff, man. That's going to be ridiculous. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm
not even a big Dead by Daylight person, but anyway, Tam told me to derail you with
I appreciate that. That was a good use of our time. Anytime I see Nick Cage pop off, it's usually that's good for a laugh. Yeah. I like Nick Cage. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna jump down to this next one. Pac-Man 99 online services are shutting down. It's going to be delisted in October. This comes from Nintendo Everything. Bandai Namco has announced that Pac-Man 99 is coming to an end, with the game's online service planned to shut down later this year, and it'll be delisted entirely. Your last chance to play the game will be on October 8th, 2023. Pac-Man 99 will still be playable offline, and all downloadable content is still going to be made available as planned after the shutdown date if previously purchased. That means players will continue to have access to extras like CPU battle mode. There's a post about this that kind of explains some of these things in more detail, but mostly, that one of the free games that was added to Nintendo Switch Online is being removed, and you won't be able to play it on online anymore in any real way. And I think that's a bummer, but I guess you could still play it offline. I don't know how you feel about this, Lucy.
It sucks. I mean, it ties into the broader question and conversation about game preservation. Like, why delist it? I get if you don't want to have the servers up, but like delisting something, purposefully putting it out there and then just taking it back sucks. So, I mean, cards on the table. Didn't even know Pac-Man 99 existed. I know Tetris 99 exists, but Pac-Man definitely went over my head. But it's gonna have its fans, and that sucks. And it speaks to a trend that I hate in gaming, which is delisting. And, like right now, for example, Roots of Pacha is a game that has been on my wish list on Steam since I played it last year at Summer Game Fest, and I was just about to buy it, and then all the stuff popped off that they are having a dispute with their publisher or the developer, and it's currently delisted and I can't buy it. Which sucks.
It does.
Sucks.
Yeah, and it's like, that's why does that stuff like that keep happening? It's really unfortunate. Even if Pac-Man 99 is something I have not played any time recently. I think most people probably haven't. That's one of the reasons they're probably shutting it down. That doesn't mean that there isn't like historical and preservation reasons for keeping these things going in some other way than what they're proposing here, which is if you already have it, you can keep it, and it's like, oh gee, thanks. Of course I better be able to keep it. Tetris 99 is still available. Nintendo themselves have previously removed Super Mario 35, which was always supposed to be a limited thing, but that was also weird.
Rockstar with the GTA trilogy. I mean, that was I'm glad they reversed that decision, because it was a disastrous launch for him. But like, I don't like the fact that they even came out and did that.
Yep. Yeah.
Because
exactly.
People can buy the definitive edition if they want, but it's a different game compared to the original, which is what some people are going to want to be playing. And so it sucks, and I hate it.
I agree. I don't think Tetris 99 will ever go down. I think people continue to play that a lot. But you say that and never say. I guess probably 10 years. Who knows? That thing could be completely evaporated off the face of the planet. All
You're
right.
all going to be evaporated off the face of the planet in 10
No,
years.
I'm gonna live
Yes,
forever.
It's fine.
I'm good. I'm gonna get some of that Dan Reichert luck. I'm just gonna keep living. Mortal Kombat co-creator says this week will be fun. This comes from my Nintendo news.
Yeah, maybe
NetherRealm's-
he's just super excited to play Zelda. I don't know.
That's probably what it is. NetherRealm Studio and Warner Brothers have been busy working on the next game in the long-running Mortal Kombat series, and it is widely rumored to be a reboot for the series. And last night, the co-creator and professional tease Ed Boon said, told fans on Twitter, went on to tease fans on Twitter by saying, "This week will be fun. Hopefully, this means that they are gearing up to announce the next Mortal Kombat game along with a trailer, or alternatively, Ed could just be trolling. Ed loves to troll, and I actually do enjoy that about him. This is one of those games that probably is showing up at the PlayStation Showcase, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah.
I mean, he said this week, and that's next week. So is it something that gets announced separately?
Is he talking about the next 7 days?
Yeah, exactly. Is that because that's how I interpreted it too? Like, yeah.
Yeah. But if someone says this week, I typically think now until Friday or Sunday, depending. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty clear we're getting a new Mortal Kombat. That series still sells well. Apparently, the rumors are saying that what you call him? Oh my God, I can see his face from The Boys and Lord of the Rings and Dredd.
Homelander.
Carl Urban is going to be in the movie. There's rumors that Homelander is going to be in the game.
Yeah, Luke Cage, apparently Carl Urban's going to play.
So I'm here for it. I'm not necessarily a big fighting game player, as you know. We talked about this yesterday, but that's cool. I'm like, what a year for fighting games! Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat potentially.
And they're
feasting.
There was that rumor a few months back that there's something happened with Soul Calibur as well, maybe a remake. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's get it going. I'm in a fighting game mood. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get into some fighting game stuff. So looking forward to it.
Yes, Johnny Cage, not Luke Cage. Two very different characters.
Yeah, Johnny Cage. Thank you, everybody. Let's see here. CMA defends decision to block ABK/Microsoft deal before UK MPs. This comes from Jeffrey Rousseau at GamesIndustry.biz. The CMA has reaffirmed its decision to block the Microsoft's $69 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard before UK's Business and Trade Committee. As reported by Eurogamer, the CMA's chair, Marcus Bonkerink, and chief executive, Sarah Cardell, fielded questions including about the assumption that blocking the deal may negatively impact UK's international reputation, which, if people don't remember, is something that Bobby Kotick screamed in a letter after the CMA did block the deal. In response to that, Bonkerink said, "The UK has always encouraged, and it is the CMA's duty to encourage, open competitive markets. We are vigilant, and it is our duty to be to investments that consolidate an already entrenched market power. I would challenge the premise that there is an impact on international confidence on doing business in the UK." Bonkerink suggested that if the acquisition went through, it would be turning a blind eye to anti-competitive mergers. The Business and Trade Committee also asked why the CMA and EU came to different conclusions about the acquisition, as the European Commission approved the deal just yesterday. Cardell said the decision was attributed to the regulator refusing Microsoft's proposition to protect the cloud gaming market. The European Commission agreed that the deal would give rise to competition concerns. There's no difference between the CMA and the EC there. But the Commission has, however, concluded it's appropriate to accept Microsoft's remedy. They have their own test to apply, and they've reached their own view. This is, just going to be kind of like a small little side story, Lucy. But I do find it interesting that the CMA is kind of in a situation where they have to answer for what they've said here, because they do seem they're an independent organization as far as I understand it. But maybe this is just UK politics, and I don't really fully understand how it works over there. The way I do grok it is they're completely reasonable politicians in the UK. Is that right? Is this going to mess up the green card stuff? I can just turn the topic.
No, I mean, me shitting on the UK is probably helpful in the green card thing. Where do we even begin with British politics? It's just fucking embarrassing, man. It's just embarrassing. I'm not going to comment ever on American politics because, again, want that green card. British politics, however, has been, we are a we're a country suffering from like short man syndrome right now. My favorite thing about this whole thing is like blocking the deal may negatively impact the UK's international reputation. I feel like we have fucked that up ourselves already, and I don't think this is necessarily going to impact any of that.
This doesn't even rank.
Think about it.
Yeah.
No, but it kind of is like very Brexity, where the British are just digging their heels in despite everyone else kind of going the other way and explaining why it's a bad idea to dig the heels in. And you know, maybe they'll come around. British famously easy to acquiesce. So
reasonable and easy to sway with a good argument. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's just weird that when these organizations or politicians adopt the language of the companies that we've heard before, and this is definitely kind of, that question sounds like what Bobby Kotick was saying, which is like always kind of don't echo what that weirdo was saying. Please don't.
Yep.
All right. Ubisoft has added X-Defiant to its 2023-2024 lineup. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC. Ubisoft has added X-Defiant to its software release schedule for its 2023-24 fiscal year. The free-to-play shooter will be released during the 12-month period, which ends March 31st, 2024, the publisher announced on Tuesday. As previously confirmed, Ubisoft's 2023-24 release schedule also includes Assassin's Creed Mirage, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Mobile, Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence, a quote, another large game, Skull and Bones, and The Crew Motorfest. Skull and Bones is not coming out.
Star Wars. Is Star Wars the large game? It's not going to be Prince of Persia.
Oh, Star Wars. Could it be Star Wars? Could Star Wars be the large game? Oh. I
would say Star Wars would be the large game.
Because I do know that Lucasfilm very much likes to be like the one that announces these things. And that happened with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, where EA is like a large partner game for a really long time. And I was like, it's Star Wars. And it's like, why aren't they saying that? It seems like it'd be good to say that. And Lucasfilm wants to be there announcing it. And so maybe that's happening here as well. I would love for that to be the case. A crossplay beta for X-Defiant was held last month on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And I mentioned that because apparently millions of people are playing this thing in the beta. Like it had like something like 2 million players.
It went over my head completely. I guess it's not really my thing, to be honest.
It's Ubisoft doing Call of Duty. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds bad. But okay, sure, go for it. And now, I mentioned X-Defiant, and I get people in my mentions being like, oh, I'm an X-Defiant fan. And how did that happen? Well, it turns out they were playing the beta, I think. So...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Remember their attempt at Apex Legends? That didn't go so well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
so
I keep
hope X-Defiant goes better.
Sure.
Because I mean, folks on staff were playing it and they really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. I've not touched it at all. But I'm also like out of my Call of Duty era, so I don't imagine that like, X-Defiant is the cure to what ails me there. That's probably not going to happen either. But yeah, that's another big game for Ubisoft. How are you feeling about Ubisoft's lineup? They're doubling down on Assassin's Creed like we talked about yesterday. A lot of the other games here, there's some promise. I mean, maybe if that Avatar game hits like Hogwarts Legacy, which probably won't happen, but if it does, hey, good for Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing in terms of the current lineup for Ubisoft right now, Assassin's Creed Mirage has definitely got me interested.
Same.
I'm not an Avatar head, so I haven't even seen the new movie. So Frontiers of Pandora, not sure. Rainbow Six Mobile, not for me. Division Resurgence, maybe I had a good time playing the Division. Whatever this other large game is, Skull and Bones, the ship has sailed, haha. And The Crew, I don't know, I like The Crew too. Yeah, but I didn't really play that much. The stuff that really interests me from Ubisoft that is not on this list is Prince of Persia Remake, whatever the hell they're doing with Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's more a perverse interest right now rather than an actual interest, because it doesn't look like it's even going to be what we all know and love about the original game.
Yeah, it's like it's a completely unrelated thing. Yeah, it always was, and now it's been years since that thing. So what they're probably making is unrelated to even that. I hope that what they do with Beyond Good and Evil 2 is, and I've said this before, but just abandon everything they showed in that trailer and make a direct sequel to the first game with a lot of the same characters again. That would make a lot more. Just make a small little Zelda thing. Nintendo's not going to make those classic Zeldas. You could do it instead of Ubisoft. All right. Assassin's Creed Mirage will be released in October, it's claimed. This comes from Tom Ivan at VGC as well. Ubisoft is reportedly targeting an October 12th, 2023 release date for Assassin's Creed Mirage. That's according to Assassin's Creed data miner and serial leaker, Jonathan, with a 0 there in his name, who discussed the alleged release date in a YouTube video this week. While he claimed the release date is currently fixed internally, he suggested it could yet shift by a few weeks, although no later than November, if it clashes with the launch of another major game, which is yet to be announced. That is the typical time frame for a new Assassin's Creed. I think that's probably right. They do have a lot of games now actually kind of piled up that they got to get out. Avatar is maybe, we're going to hear Ubisoft Forward in a couple of weeks, like when all these things are happening. It's like, and maybe Avatar comes out a few weeks before this. Maybe it's like their August game or something like that. I don't know if it has a release date. I don't think it does. But yeah, and then Assassin's Creed Mirage in time for the fall. I think that works. And like you said, I'm excited about Mirage as well. They're going back to the old style of Assassin's Creed. It's going to be more contained. I've been finding myself craving Assassin's Creed a little bit. I think this will be a good fit for that.
Yep, I agree. I think Tam and I talked about it in Spot On a couple weeks ago, but like I definitely have open world exhaustion.
Yes.
I refer to it as the Ubisoftification of open world game design, and I'm really longing for a more contained, deliberate experience, I guess I would call it. And so going back to the core tenets of Assassin's Creed, which is the parkour, the stealth, assassinations, like I think that sounds great, man. I really hope it's good. I really hope it's good because I like to be excited about an Assassin's Creed, and I haven't been. I dug Valhalla, but dude, it was too big for its own good. So
yes, I like Val. That's the one I was like, should I just go play Valhalla? It's like, and maybe I'll tell myself I don't have to like try to actually get anywhere close to beating it. Just like choose like a small thing to do, and I'm like that. Even that sounds like a problem because it's a Ubisoft game. It's meant to distract you towards all of these other things that take you all over the world. So yeah, that's not a good fit. All right. Final story here. Arc Raiders. The Arc Raiders delay has completely transformed the game's genre. This comes from Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot. After its delay last year, Embark Studios' third-person shooter Arc Raiders has changed direction enough to necessitate a genre change. Prior to delay, Arc Raiders was billed as a PvE shooter where players could team up to survive and take on enemies. In a distinct future vision of the world. When Embark Studios made the decision to focus on The Finals, its other first-person team-based shooter that is launching soon, it decided to delay Arc Raiders while also figuring out how to fold in PvP elements. In the latest update for the game, executive producer Alexander Grondel reveals that in the pursuit, Embark Studio ended up changing a big part of Arc Raiders' structure. It is now a PvPvE extraction shooter like a Tarkov. Lucy, suddenly everything's a Tarkov. I've never played Tarkov. I need to find one of these games to get in and actually learn what this whole genre is about. I mean, I get the idea of like, you're getting set up for going in and then you're going to go in there and try to get some more stuff out. So you risk what you have to see if you can get even more stuff. So when you bring it out, you have even more the next time you go in. And that sounds like a really good loop. And I get why people are into that. But also, when everyone's doing like the same thing, usually that means there's not going to be a lot of space for multiple successes next to Tarkov. And we know that Battlefield tried to do this and it didn't seem to really work. Or, they did a Tarkov light mode. I don't know. Do you think it's a good move for a new game from a new big studio that kind of came out of nowhere?
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the trailer right now because this went straight over my head. It's not necessarily yeah, geez. I mean, I'm all up for a new studio trying something new and hopefully breaking out into the space. But yeah, Tarkov was kind of big a few years ago. It's still popular, but it's not necessarily commanding the same sort of mind share. So maybe this will give it the shot.
Devs. I think it's a popular thing with developers, and that's why we're seeing a lot of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it looks interesting.
For people
who's Embark Studio?
So Embark Studios is from Soderlund, who the former guy that he
Patrick Soderlund.
Yeah, he ran DICE, and then he was creative boss at EA, and then he left EA. He started Embark, and immediately got like 250 people on his team. And it's like, oh wait, what?
I'll bet.
They had a lot of money ready to go, built up a huge team, and started working with the Unreal Engine, which I always think is funny because he forced everyone at EA to use Frostbite, and he's like, "Fuck, peace! I'm going on Unreal Engine, motherfuckers!" Like, of course you can't use Frostbite, but still, it's just funny. People really like that early Arc Raiders trailer so much that like I got some people in my Discord that just like mention every once in a while, like, "Hey, what's going on with that?" Well, now we know what's going on with it. We'll see.
Yeah, interesting.
All right. I got the poll from yesterday. Oh, there's Nick Cage's beautiful face still. Let me get that out of there. Bring this up here. And I said yesterday, for Monday, actually, after spending some time with it, how do you rate Tears of the Kingdom so far? I got a vote to get to see it. I'm going to give it an A. 70% gave it an A. 15% gave it a B. 7% gave it an F. 6% gave it a C. And only 2% gave it a D. Yeah, I think that those are people who probably just either haven't played it or want traditional Zelda, sure. 70% though, give it an A, I think is actually kind of impressive. I wonder what the highest, what game could we put on here that would get the highest on this review scale, do you think? What is the most universally beloved game? Because this one seems pretty universally beloved.
Elden Ring.
You think so?
Probably.
Right, maybe we could test that. That'd be fun. Tetris. I bet. I don't know. I feel like with our audience, Tetris would kind of... Tony Hawk. Jan's fucking right.
Yeah, Jan is correct, as always.
As always. Hell yeah, Jan. Thank God. I was... we had our 300th episode of Game Mess Decides. Not that I'm trying to promote, but Mike's like, let's pick the best game of all time. I'm like, that's a bad idea, but all right. And I said Tony Hawk, and then everyone was just like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. I'm like, I don't think it's crazy. And I know why I was thinking about it so much, because I was spending a lot of time with Jan and Dan Reichert, and all three of us were talking like the entire trip about, isn't Tony Hawk good? Yeah, I'm going to go back to the hotel room tonight and play Tony Hawk. And like, yeah, I'm going to buy my Switch right now. And it was like, that was the whole week. So it was like, okay, maybe I was influenced by my close friends.
Thank you for the podcast points, Jan.
Hell yeah. All right. That was yesterday's poll. I'm going to get a new poll up and send it over to Jan. In the meantime, Lucy, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
We are recording Jeff's Bizarre Adventure in a couple hours, so hopefully they'll be up this week because there's a lot going on in those episodes. I was texting Tam last night while I was watching, so that'll be a good episode of the podcast. What else? We got Grubbalang today. What else? Actually, no, not Grubberlang. It's going to be, I need to update that. That's, we're doing Four Sword Fiesta. And I think we're doing that a little bit later. The schedule, my calendar's not updated. I think we're doing a little bit later, but that'll be happening for sure today. Four Swords Fiesta, Connectivity Compadres are back. Look out for that. We got to beat that level that has like actual quests in it. And that was our downfall because we were really bad at paying attention. And then Dan was like a toddler running off and causing problems. You could just say, and then Dan. And then Dan. So we'll see if we can get through that level today. I really hope so. Also, I got to make sure. Oh shit! I got to go get all my shit off the other computer. I forgot about that. My save there. So I'll get that. Actually, that stuff is probably in the cloud as well. We'll take a look. Yeah. And then tomorrow we'll have Blight Club. Normal Robo Mitch episode will be back. We have UPF and all that stuff. You said Jeff is going up next week, but you guys are recording today. Is that what it is? No, I think we're going to try and get it up this week, just because these episodes are. Yeah. I don't want to say what's happening, but like I was losing my mind.
I love to hear that. All right. The new poll, which will be up on our YouTube channel. What are we most likely to get from a PlayStation showcase of these four? Mag 2, Knack 3, Jumping Flash 3, or Layer 2? Go ahead and vote. We'll talk about it on the show tomorrow. All right, there it is. It's up right now. Our rules just put it in chat. Lucy, thank you so much for spending today talking with me about video games. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with me while they dug up my road outside.
It's already a Jumping Flash 3? Sorry.
Oh, my God.
You did great. You that sort of stuff would be like, I'd be like so distracted, and you handle it like no problem at all. Everybody, thank you for watching. It's a lot of fun to do this show because you're the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Bye.